Alright, so welcome back for part 2 of my discussion with Kolyaani. And we are discussing about education, value system, and how schooling and just growing up in general really shapes your personality so much. So I like to start off from a point that you were mentioning before about hard work.
Yeah.
And you were saying that how working hard is also a privilege.
Yeah.
That you're able to work hard.
Yes.
But I like to take up a point which is a little, let's say, away from what you were saying, but it's about hard work only. That how hard work is being looked down upon today. For example, ordinary is not good, apparently. If you are having a 9 to 5 job, if you are having a job which is like you're going to the office, coming back, and it's a job where probably you're not getting the opportunity to travel a lot. It's an office job.
Yeah.
That apparently today is not considered to be cool.
Yeah.
That's not something which is successful. So now people who have jobs where you're traveling a lot, where you're getting to visit abroad, where you're getting to visit very exotic locations, and you don't have a regular 9 to 5 job, that is something which is successful. So success, if I have to really come down to it, is ultimately monetary success. It's about how much bank account money, how much money you have in your bank account is success in today's definition.
Yeah.
It's not about, hard work is something that is looked down upon, that you're struggling. And I feel that nobody likes the process, everybody loves the results.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to go through that journey of that process. You straight away want results. And that is where social media plays that role, because it shows you the people who have reached there. They will, let's say, if they're posting that today I am in Hawaii, today I am in Vietnam, today I am in this country, Japan, and you're showing that I'm here for work, and I'm here for this is the exotic place that I'm staying in, this is the exotic location where my work is.
Yeah.
But
जो
nobody
दिखता है वो बिकता है concept. Yes.
but nobody is telling you the process behind it, right? So what your mind at the age of 18 or 15 is, I want this.
Yes.
I don't want to work hard. I don't want to go through the process, but I want this.
Yeah.
Like, because obviously when you're posting about those things, you're not writing the back journey. What did you do to reach there?
Yeah.
What is your work profile? What are you doing? Maybe you're a businessman.
Yeah.
Maybe you're coming from a business family.
Yeah.
Maybe it's being sponsored by a company. Maybe you already have a very well established workspace of your own. So there are a lot of factors which go behind it, and that reality is obviously not always there. But what is getting thrown at you as content is the result.
Yeah.
And that's why hard work or the struggle is something which is ridiculed.
Yeah.
Right?
I think from what I gathered, this is also because, again, what is required of the child is training of the mind. You need to train, not only train the child, you need to train its mind. And my child's mind is so susceptible to all these maybe distractions, not be distractions. And the child needs to figure out what is right for them.
You're impressionable, no? At that
Impressionable, yes. Even if the child feels that traveling is what the child wants, maybe they don't want to be restricted in a closed space. Every human being is different. Some people I like, just a personal note, like I like to shut myself in a room and study. And I remember my friends could not gather ki how can I do it? She being one of them. How can I do it? But again, I was comfortable in that space, and at the same time, I would see one of my other friend. It's not like he was not scoring, but he was focused. He would study for like 5 or 6 hours, get the maximum benefit out of that, and then play his sports. Sports or any kind of physical activity that he used to be like, I can't leave my sports. Kuch bhi ho. So every child is different, and they need that understanding that child and honing that child's mind. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Everything is okay. That is what they have to understand. They can't, there are some cardinal things that they have to abide by. They can't hurt another human being. Again, it's my belief. So they can't hurt another human being. They have to be kind to the world. They have to be kind to themselves first. Then only they can be kind to the world. They have to be respectful. They don't always have to be I will avenge this kind of a mentality. You should know when to let things go, when to stand for yourself, and like small example I would give from my childhood, in a childhood instance of mine. I remember I was a very distracted, easily distracted kid. So my grandmother, one day she told me that people think you should know what to prioritize, when to prioritize, and how to prioritize it. At such a young age, I remember I was in class 6th and I had an exam the next day and I wanted to go and play. That's how simple the thing was. She's like, now today your priority is getting good marks and graduating to the next class, because that is what is required of you. That is what your duty is, your karma, basically. That idea of a karma. You should be rooted to your duty. The basic idea was not to achieve like excellent marks. The idea was be rooted to your karma, be rooted to your duty, do it to the best of your ability. Rest is up to God, or rest is up to the destiny, or whatever you want to put your faith in. And I feel for a child, holding that right kind of a belief system is also very important. When we talk about education, it is not just any kind of academic education. उसके साथ साथ उनका belief system develop करना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है.
Yes. And
एक अच्छा belief system जिससे वो एक अच्छे इंसान बन सके.
And for that, what meaning you attach to certain things in life is so important. Because what you're saying, that belief system is what drives you, right? What I believe in, what my basic life principles are, they are the ones that sort of determine the kind of lifestyle that I will lead. They will determine the kind of personality I will present myself as. And for that, again, going back to that term success, like I was just, while prepping for this discussion, I was thinking in my head that if it's not, what is success for me? Or let's say what is success in our field of academics? And it made me really feel that by the popular belief, an academician can never be successful. Because we are in a process. And academician, we are the ones who are constantly in love with that process of studying, of accumulating, of letting go of concepts. One concept we are like, yehi sahi hai, and then one fine day we are like, oh no, it's not right. Let go.
We have to let go. Let's start. So they have to learn these certain basic things of not holding on when it's not required. And these this is a kind of emotional intelligence that they need to develop.
It's like a schema
Yeah.
that gets created in your
Yeah.
head, right? And again, I'll just finish that point that an academician in today's time can never be successful. Why? Because you will never get a 1 crore paycheck
Yeah.
ever. There cannot be a professor or a teacher who is earning 50 lakh per annum or 1
Yeah.
CR per annum, unless of course you are you're owning a coaching center or a private but that becomes like a administrative thing. You become a businessman then. If you're just a teacher, you're just a professor, success for you would be that would be in terms of how many papers you've published,
Yeah.
how many books you've written, or how many lectures you've delivered, or how many students you've taught.
Yeah.
How
It's
many,
again measured very quantitatively.
Yeah.
I think everything, maybe the scientific revolution was a very good thing, but you don't have to attach a quantitative number to everything. Just some things, just let it be.
and it has a very deep rooted relation to the first point that you made about respect. And I'll just like to add, like, just combine the two terms here by saying that I feel there are a lot of teachers today who complain that let's say 5 6 years ago, 10 years ago, the way students respected their teachers, or the way the general public respected
Every teacher's
a professor or an academic person, it's just gone down to the drains now. There is no respect for a teacher, there is no respect for the profession. And somewhere I feel this circulating ideology that success is money, and because teachers, like, what is a conventional image of a teacher in your head?
Yeah.
Someone who
That's
wears a
true.
sari, someone who's
Yeah.
wearing a suit, and or somebody, for a man it would be like a pant shirt वो झोला लेके वो एक दिमाग में बैठे ये मास्टर जी है. This is a person who's not very rich, this is a person who's not very popular, this is a person who is not very stylish, although we have brilliantly fashionable teachers and
Yeah.
professors in college
Yeah.
who are so smart, who are like so much more than just that conventional image that you have in your head. But you will not consider them to be successful. Why? Because they are not like printing as much money as maybe a BTech person is, or maybe a MBA person is. But for me, I think personally, I am from, again, it goes back to your parents and your grandparents, and the kind of
Upbringing that you
value system that you've grown up with.
Yeah.
That I don't attach success with money, because in my head my parents are the most successful people.
Yeah.
But of course we belong to a middle class family, and we don't come from a very affluent background. But for me, success is not that. For me, success would be that I've seen my mother working every single day,
Yeah.
and you're waking
Working
up,
hard.
you're working hard every single day. You're waking up and you're making the best of your day. You're making the most of your energy.
Yeah.
And the same is with my father. And that for me is success. So ordinary is extraordinary when you persevere. What you say?
Yes. And again, thanks to our Didi, Gurugram and St. And yeah, so also one more thing, failures will come. Students will have to understand that failure is inevitable. Success is not always getting that what you want, and what we want is the best marks. Maybe the child is mentally not able to put in that much effort at that point of time, but that value system should remain कि अपना बेस्ट देना है, वो कर्म अच्छे से करना है, क्योंकि वो अभी आपका कर्म है. And I think at one point of time I had not got. So again, these are certain childhood experiences that I would like to share with FDPT. So there are two incidents that I remember and which is coming to my mind. The first one was I did not do well in one of my exams, and that was the first time I did not do well in class 6. And I remember my mother was furious. I have never been so
I can't
terrified.
imagine her being furious, but okay.
My mother.
Yeah.
Oh no,
So
she's
sweet.
a dangerous lady. So she was furious, and I saw that every mother, for every child, the mother is a dangerous lady, but that danger wants to extract something best, because nobody knows you better than your mother. The mother knows that the child is capable, maybe because of some certain distraction or something. So my mother was furious. And throughout that parent-teacher meeting back home, the entire 45 minutes car journey, I was scolded by my mom. I came back home, my grandmother scolded. And after that, I remember I was very sad, and my father came and he said, you should remember one thing. The greatest victory of man is not in never failing, but getting up every time he fails. And slowly, as you said, watching your parents, I think success becomes every time you dust yourself and decide not to give up.
Yep.
And this cannot be me. I will do better than this.
Yeah.
In every aspect, as a human being, as a student, as in whichever field you wish to go to. And I think that is what made Mark Zuckerberg Mark Zuckerberg. That is what made Bill Gates, right? Dhirubhai Ambani. Every time he was put down, he had that value system that I will get up no matter what, and whatever I'm doing to the best of my ability. You don't have to go to an institution to learn that. Schooling becomes that training and disciplining of that mind. You can be homeschooled by parents who know what they are doing.
Yeah.
By teachers who know what they are doing. So you can have that upbringing and value system that becomes successful. And that when you talk about respect, right, when you talk about respecting, nowadays students are not respecting the teachers. Sometimes we are told that maybe the teacher is not making the class interesting. Maybe 20% is the teacher's job to make that class interesting too. But every child's mind, we cannot control the child's mind. कि अब तुम चुप बैठोगे तो चुप बैठोगे हाँ. वो नहीं बैठ सकते उनको. And especially an age when things are with Instagram and constant smartphones, their mind has become fidgety. They can't, at least that's what I have noticed, their mind has become very fidgety. It cannot stay put at one place. And their disrespect comes from a part where they feel that they know more than the teacher, or at a point where the teacher might go wrong. The teacher at the end is a human being. We can falter. Again, it is not our credibility to never falter, but it is our credibility to be honest with our profession. And our profession only requires two things: love towards our subject, love towards our children. That's it. वो बच्चे को उठा के खड़ा करना है, उसको कुछ बनाना है जिंदगी में. And trust me, the time when students come back to you and say, "Ma'am, I am here and thank you for everything." Some of my students from school, they message me and they tell me that, it was a very short stint that I did in a school, like as a teacher. But they still, they come to me and tell me, "Ma'am, the things that you taught us were so beautiful." And that makes your day. Because जिंदगी में हमको यही सुनना है कि जो करा है वो बच्चे के दिल को हर बार नहीं छू सकता, हर बच्चे को पॉजिटिवली इफेक्ट नहीं कर सकता, बट वो बच्चे को वो भी बताना पड़ेगा कि bare tree which bears no fruit absolutely will always stand erect, but a tree laden with fruits and green leaves will always have its head bowed. So learning can only happen if first you assimilate. You can never fill a glass which is already full. that was again a thing that was told to me, because as a teenager we have a habit of arguing with our parents. At every
all
time,
done.
yeah,
All
at
the time.
every time we feel that I am right, and at every point they will feel they are right, because हमने इतनी जिंदगी देखी है, तुम अभी बच्चे हो. So that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And to understand that at every point you can't be right, and at every point they also can't be right.
Right.
So somewhere you have to let that situation pass,
Right.
not be so reactionary,
Mm.
and just understand the situation first. I think
Yep.
that is what is most required from a student. Every student will succeed if they follow and inculcate a belief system and a value system that has already been in our tradition for so long.
True, and inspired by what you just said and mentioned, I will also, like to just share a small incident from a very recent past that happened. When I was, just a year ago actually, I was going through a very tough time, career-wise. And like the ideas that you had, that this is what I want to do, this is how I want to do. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. And when they don't work, we've all been there where you get those, that those moments of sadness. You feel self-doubt. You start questioning your worth as a person, as an academician, as a person who is even capable of doing anything at all. And I remember exactly over here on this space only, I was sitting over here and my dad was sitting where you are sitting. And at night at 11:30 we were having this discussion, and probably he figured that I am very upset and I'm very, very disturbed with what's happening, and I felt very dejected. So he must have sensed it, and he asked me, what happened? What are you feeling? Kya chal raha hai? And I just, I had these tears in my eyes, and I said, I failed. I have failed in my life at mere 23 years of age. I have failed in my life, and I don't know what to do now. So at that point, I also was somebody who would attach success to achieving that one goal, to clearing that one exam, or to get that one job or that one admission. But at that point, he told me that this is where my definition of success now comes from. He told me that I did not work all my life to hear that my daughter is a failure. And it's not something that anybody else is saying. You are saying it. So it's it's my responsibility to make sure that you don't feel that you're a failure, because it's not your failure, then it's my failure, right? And he's like, I am still here. So till the time I am here, I won't let you fail. So what do you do now? I was like, what do I do now? They're like, start again. If this doesn't work, start again. Something else will work. If that also doesn't work, we will figure something out. We'll start again. What you just said, that every time you fall, if you just dust yourself up and you are ready to work hard again, you're ready to persevere again, that is your moment of success. That's your moment of victory. And at that point, I just felt that I've taken off that load from my head, and I've just passed it to my dad. And
that's what we children do.
That's what we do. But it was a life learning moment. At the same time, it was a connecting moment. And at the same time, it was also a moment of empowerment.
I think that is what is required of school, to create these life-changing moments for the child. My school, I come from Government of J. and Mary, and in spite of the education system and for many other things that the school is known of, I would like to say one thing. The best thing that the school has taught me, they imbibed the ideology of a saint, who was Saint Claudine Thevenin, and the best thing that the school taught me was to forgive and forget. At that time, you know, छोटे थे हमको हर दिन वही प्रेयर में बोला जाता था कि I forgive and I forget. ठीक है, एंड वो बचपन में एज अ रूटीन हम बोलते थे, हमको इतना समझ नहीं आता था, अच्छा चलो बोल दिया, सुबह 7 बजे उठ के हाँ रट के बोल दिया किसी तरह. एंड लेटर इन लाइफ आई अंडरस्टूड what a brilliant way of letting go things, you know, and not to react at everything. That again, there has to be a discretion. You should ultimately, when it comes on your self-respect, you can forgive, but you should learn to stand up.
You should know the boundary.
Yes.
There should be a limit to everything, because you should not forgive and forget at the cost of your own respect.
Self-respect, yes. But then we should not also hold on to things that will make us lose our self-worth and make us go into such a daldal. Yes.
So I feel that self-respect should not turn into ego.
Yes.
Because it's a very thin line where you are like, now this is where my self-respect is getting hurt, and it's very easy for you to shift to a egoistic perspective. So that's exactly where that whole training comes into play, right? What we have been speaking about all this, right? So I think I have shared my closing remarks also with that experience, but would you like to close with some thoughts that you have regarding anything that we've spoken about today?
I spoke from my heart and the knowledge that I have gathered so far, and to each and every person out there, I would like to say, student, teacher, parent, everybody, I would just like to say one thing, that every human being has something valuable to impart.
Yeah.
And it is upon your intelligence to, and these are my mother's words. So I'm just saying that every human being has something beautiful to impart, a learning experience. So it's upon your intelligence how you absorb it, how you inculcate it, and that value system of absorption, assimilation, filtering and inculcation, ये जो process है ना, ये एक बच्चे को समझाना चाहिए, उसका overall development में focus होना चाहिए. Then only we are looking at a country where people are living coexisting peacefully. Otherwise, we have seen a history of wars over land, wars over resources, wars over everything. Who, at the end, who's getting affected? The people of that land. For what you are fighting for, they are getting affected. But somewhere, of course, there are situations where we have to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Where we have to preserve our self-respect and everything. But that mentality of acquisition should not be there. There should be a mentality of absorption and assimilation.
Yeah, I again,
not being very generic, but from the student perspective.
Yeah. Alright, so thank you so much for coming, and this has been wonderful. I think this has also been a very good learning experience for me.
Same here.
Because naturally, when you're conversing with someone over any topic, and it's a dialogue, it's not a monologue, you have so much to contribute and also take back, because it does leave an impact on you, and I'm sure that whoever will be watching this video, our conversation will also take back something, and take back something meaningful.
Yes.
Right? Something that adds value to their life.
I hope so. Again, always see and read anything and just think of how it's suiting you.
Yeah.
Don't just take in any ideology just the way it is.
Yeah,
Not
you
to
must
analyze,
always
criticize, read more on it, and talk to people.
Ask questions.
Ask questions first.
I personally encourage all my students to ask questions.
Yeah.
नहीं अच्छा लग रहा है बोल दो बेकार है, but you know, use your hair. Even if you're saying it's bad, at least you're using your hair.
Yeah.
So anyway, so thank you. We'll wrap up.
Thank you.